Hey guys, welcome to a new deck profile. This time it's going to be my Gear Chronicles, and honestly I've been hesitant on doing this deck profile because the deck's actually not complete. But yeah, now I've decided it's about time I bring you guys one of my best decks. So yeah, here's the Gear Chronicle deck. Let's get started. Starter is your Gunner Draco Kid. The reason I chose Gunner over the timepiece was because he's a 5k boost, and he guarantees you a search, meaning you don't have to look at the top 5, you can guarantee a grade 3 to your hand. So he's very useful. The Stride Zone. Since I only bought one trial deck, I only have 2 Mystery Flares for my Gear Chronicle Stride, 2 Mystery Flares, and I have 1 Miracle Element Atmos. And Atmos is useful because if your opponent does not have a perfect guard, and this thing's like 40 something, your opponent risks taking this for risk you driving a drive check, getting a critical. So if your opponent's at 5 damage or 4 damage and they don't have a perfect guard, this card is very dangerous or very pressuring. So that's the Stride Zone, and it's really small actually. To finish this deck, what you would need is another Gear Chronicle trial deck, which isn't that much, but for me it's hard to find. Grade 3s, I play 2 Chrono Jet. Definitely play 4 if you have 4 Chrono Jets. Chrono Jet's a very key card in Gear Chronicle. It's definitely a useful card as well, being that every time you stride, you can counterblast 1 and put a unit back in the bottom of your opponent's deck. And also, it can get the Glory Maelstrom effect, which can make your opponent suffer a lot if they're at 4 damage. So Chrono Jet's definitely nice. You must play 4 in a Gear Chronicle deck if you want to be good, but you know, I don't have 4. Next, 2 Ruin Disposal. He's your Legion for the deck. There is a new one coming out, but I like Ruin Disposal better. He allows you to, when you Legion, just put a card back in the bottom of your opponent's deck. So, it's nice, and it can swing for 22. So, yeah, nice card. And, I prefer this for late game. Next, I have 3 copies of Fate Wheel Dragon. Fate Wheel Dragon is nice in the fact that you can use him to waste your opponent's perfect guard, then finish him off with Chrono Jet, because he's sort of like a budget riding the clock. His skill is when he's placed on Vanguard, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and put a grade 1 or less back in the bottom. So he can kill starters, he can put back boosters, and he's very nice. And his other skill, Counterblast 1, with this unit attacks, Generation Break 1. Your opponent may not call grade 0 to guard your circle. So, this card's very nice for late game pressuring your opponent into like perfect guarding this attack. Otherwise, you know, they're gonna take a damage. So, that's the main 7 grade 3s. The other tech card I have is 1 copy of Sea Maiden Eol. Eol is not very useful in my opinion. I don't like her technically, but she is there for that late game push. I never actually needed to use her, but you know, there's the option. And what I like about the grade 3 lineup is that since I have such a big variety, I can pick whatever grade 3 I want with Gunner Gear, and I'll add it to my hand. So it's just not really a big problem for me because I can get any grade 3 I want. Grade 2s, 4 copies of Smoke Gear. I chose to play 4 because riding this turn 2 is very nice. It's a nice attacker, and this, combined with the 8k boost, it can hit cross rides, so it's nice. Next, I play 2 Steam Fighter Ambers. I would play 3 or 4, but I don't like 2. Amber is nice in the fact that you can just counterblast 1, get rid of an Interceptor, or get rid of a card. It's very nice because it pressures your opponent into guarding more heavily. And my friend doesn't suggest me playing this at all, but I prefer this over Relic Master because Relic Master is just a terrible card in my opinion. Because counterblasting 2 in this meta right now is too big of a cost for grade 2 in my opinion. Next, 2 copies of Twin Macer. He's a 12k attacker. He's only 12k when he attacks the Vanguard, so keep that in mind. And he's just nice for that, for hitting high numbers. Like I said, if you put AK behind this, it's for swing for 20 at the Vanguard and 18. No, swing for 20 at the Vanguard and 17 at other units. So nice card. 2 Mechanized Gear Tiger, because Mechanized Gear Tiger can hit for 14, and it's just nice being able to hit high numbers and pressuring your opponent into guarding more. And next, lastly, this probably the most difficult grade 2 in my deck right now to find is Steam Knight Perzerli. Perzerli is so good. He's the silent taunt for Gear Chronicle, and the fact that Soul Blast 2, when this unit attacks, your opponent may not call grade 0, so Guardian Circle. He's the mate for Ruin Disposal for Legion. He's the mate for Ruin Disposal. He's just good because if you have trigger effects, you can apply all your triggers to Perzerli, and then your Perzerli is going to be really strong, and that's going to either force your opponent to take damage, or they're going to have to guard a lot. Not being able to call grade 0s, meaning they have to perfect guard this, or they have to waste a lot of grade 1s and 2s on this, which is very nice. I would suggest playing 4, but I don't have 4. The next other grade 1s, which probably are kind of weird, but I'll explain. 3, Macer Gear Dragon. He's AK. He's nice. He's nice for boosting. He's nice to ride turn 1, because your opponent is most likely a 7k, so you either have to get a booster, or you have to call another unit. So AK is nice to ride for turn 1 and to boost with, but you only need 3, because I find 4 to be kind of cloggy. 4, Steam Breath. Steam Breath is your Chrono Jet Searcher. It allows you to add Chrono Jet to your hand, and it's a Stride fodder, meaning it's a grade 3 when you stride. A very key card in Gear Chronicle decks, because just being a grade 3 is very nice. So, it's a very useful card. Next, I play 4 copies of Summon Crest Earwolf. I will cut it down to 3, and then add another copy of Burnham. But I find 4 to be a safe number, because you're always guaranteed to get at least 1 throughout the whole game, because you're playing 4 copies. Its skill is Generation Break 1 when units put back into the bottom of your opponent's deck. It gains 3k. So, if you put 1 unit back, it's a 10k booster or attacker. You put 2 units back, it gets plus 6k, which is going to be 13. This is very nice because it allows you to boost for high numbers, and it allows you to attack with high numbers. So, just a nice card, but I don't always pull it off. So, I wanted to put this down to 3, but if I did right now, I had nothing else to play. So, right now it's at 4. Lastly, 1, Steam Rider Bruno. Burnham's nice because if you put this behind a Chrono Jet, it's swing for 26 with the Generation Break, and your opponent can only call grade 0. So that's going to be very difficult for your opponent to guard. And if you put it behind a Fate Wheel, it's 21, and your opponent can't call grade 0s. So he just allows you to hit for high numbers. And what I like about him more than Gearwolf is because he's guaranteed a boost for 10 every time. He's not, but he has to be a Generation Break, which isn't a bad thing, because he has to be a Generation Break also. So, between these two, he's more consistent, but he pushes for higher numbers. So I just play both so that I can pick whatever one I want. It's just a net card. Next, the last 2, which are the Perfect Guards for Gear Chronicle from the trial deck. I would play 4 trial decks. No, I would play 4 Perfect Guards and take out these 2 completely. No, actually, I would take out 1 for an extra Perfect Guard, 1 of this for an extra Perfect Guard. So these 2 are supposed to be Perfect Guards. And then, no, actually, oh, scratch that. Yes, actually, these are supposed to be Perfect Guards. And then this is supposed to be another copy of Burnham. So, yeah, I'm getting a little bit confused because I forgot to write down the deck list. But, yeah, 2 Perfect Guards. Perfect Guards are very important because Perfect Guards are just important.